It is 11 days to the African Cup of Nations, and the big news coming out from the Super Eagles camp is that there's a new coach in town for the Super Eagles, talking about PESEIRO, who will take over from Rohr. Now, it must be said that Austin Eguavoen will lead the team to the African Cup of Nations, but afterwards, PESEIRO will now take charge fully. It's on that note I welcome you to another edition of the Arena. It promises to be exciting as always. We'll review, weekend Premier League matches that took place yesterday. We'll also preview the big one coming up today, talking about Manchester United against Burnley. But let's go on a quick break right now. When we return, the show begins in earnest.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. Found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiville, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's still the Arena. Now it's time to talk about charity beginning from home. And you know what it is? It's the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the new coach that has been appointed by the NFF, talking about Portuguese manager PESEIRO, I beg your pardon, PESEIRO. Now, it must be said that the Portuguese has coached in Africa before, especially when it comes to African football, club football, Al Ahly precisely, and he won the Egyptian Premier League with Al Ahly in 2016. He has also won the Portuguese Cup with Braga in 2013. So when it comes to winning trophies, yeah, maybe not much, but he has won at least 2 trophies. The last job he had was with Venezuela, where he coached them to the 2021 Copa America tournament, and that ended on a disappointing note as they could not progress from the group stages of the Copa America, which Argentina eventually won. And it must be said too that he coached Saudi Arabia in 2010, but he couldn't lead them to the World Cup that took place in South Africa. So he's had his ups, he's had his downs, but this is a manager that is well experienced. He's 61 years old, and more importantly, he has coached in several clubs, as much as in places like Portugal and even in core Europe like Spain, where in 2003 he was the assistant coach to Carlos Queiroz at Real Madrid. So it shows you that he has the experience when it comes to football generally, not just in Africa. Let's see if his African experience with Al Ahly in 2016, which led to the Egyptian Premier League title, will count for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That is the new coach, and is someone that Nigerians should get used to very soon. And talking about PESEIRO, it must be said, remember that the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, last week confirmed that a new coach will be named this week, and he also said the new coach will hit the ground running immediately. So that caused a bit of uproar or confusion in the media, as well as in the midst of football enthusiasts who were wondering if it was the new coach that would lead us to the African Cup of Nations. But the NFF has clarified that and said that it is Austin Eguavoen, the interim manager, who would lead the Super Eagles into the African Cup of Nations. PESEIRO will be there, but would only be there to observe the team and study the team basically. And after the competition has ended, he would take charge of the team, while Austin Eguavoen will revert back to to his role as the technical advisor of the Nigerian Football Federation. So there's no confusion anywhere. Eguavoen is leading us to the African Cup of Nations, the 33rd edition, and let's just see if we're able to lay our hands on the trophy, which will be for the 4th time. We've won it 3 times, the last coming in 2013, made possible by the late Stephen Keshi. let's hope Austin Eguavon can follow the path of his boss in terms of getting us another African Cup of Nations. Still talking about the NFF. The NFF Technical Committee have also been mandated by the body to ensure that once the Super Eagles land in Gara in Cameroon, that there's a friendly match organized for them. Excuse me. There is a friendly match organized for them so that they can, have the best of preparations before their opening match, which will be on the 11th of January. And it's a big one because it's against the Egyptian Giants. Talking about Mohamed Salah's led team. Let's see if we can start on a winning note. But the second match will be on the 15th, and that will be against Sudan. And we also have Guinea-Bissau on the 19th. So those are the 3 dates. You should pen that down on your calendar. 11th, we're playing Egypt. It's a big one. And when you have such crunch ties like that, it's one that we should not miss as Nigerians in terms of supporting the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's just hope that Austin Eguavon and the lads are able to make our patriotism count when it comes to the support we've given to them, or we are giving to them in terms of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So the NFF, still talking about the NFF, they budgeted 13 billion naira. Yes, you heard that correctly. 13 billion naira has been budgeted for 2022 as the expenses that the Football Federation would run, and it's quite understandable that it's a large sum of amounts because in 2022 you have the African Cup of Nations, which will take place between January and February, and you also have the FIFA World Cup taking place in November, December. So it tells you that when it comes to preparations, the NFF are gearing for Nigeria to be able to get the best of preparations. 13 billion naira is quite the sum, but and we just hope that we're able to recoup some of this money in terms of winning the trophies and probably get into the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup. Remember, Nigeria is yet to qualify for the Qatar FIFA World Cup taking place in November and December in 2022. We have one last round of playoffs, and that will be decided in March, where it will be a two-legged affair, and we still face the possibility of playing either Egypt or likes of Mali, DR Congo, Ghana in the mix. So let's hope we get a favorable draw for the last round of qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup, talking about the one taking place in Qatar, the very first taking place in the Middle East. Now let's move away from the NFF and talk about European club football. Yesterday, Chelsea against Brighton Hove Albion. It was at Stamford Bridge, and the Blues, as they are known, dropped points once again. It was a frustrating evening for Thomas Tuchel's men as they dropped points considered in 91st minute equalizer, and it was former Manchester United player Danny Welbeck who came to haunt Chelsea, scoring in the 91st minute of that encounter. Romelu Lukaku had given Chelsea the edge and in the first half with a very good strike, but they got pegged back and they paid for a bit of profligacy in front of goal as they couldn't convert chances. It was quite the cagey match. You also had Brighton Hove Albion having chances in the match, but they couldn't make it count until the 91st minute, where Danny Welbeck rose above everyone else to head into the net. And it means Chelsea, though second as a result of the points they've earned, but they've played one match more than Liverpool, and right now they're 8 points behind leaders Manchester City. So for Chelsea, it's 2 more points dropped in the title race, and let's see if it will count against them on the long run. But for now, all momentum has to do with Manchester City. Now we'll delve into Manchester City. It was a hard-fought win for Manchester City against Brentford, and it had to take Phil Foden to get the only goal of the game as Pep Guardiola's team extended their lead at the top of the table to 8 points. They were 6 points ahead going into the match itself, but Phil Foden's winner ensured that Pep Guardiola's men round up the year finished leading with 8 points. 8 points ahead of Chelsea, who are in second, and 9 points ahead of Liverpool, who have played a game less. So if Liverpool wins, it goes back to 6 points, but you know what it is right now, it's 8 points, and Pep Guardiola's men are on course to defend the title they won in style last season. Let's just hope that there's a bit of competition coming from Liverpool and Chelsea so that the race for the title goes down to the wire. Remember, May 28th is the final day of the Premier League, and then we should see who will be crowned the champion on that day. So we hope that the race goes down to the wire so that we can actually have that happen in terms of maybe the last match of the season deciding who gets to lift the Premier League title. But right now, it's all about Pep Guardiola and his men. Now, talking about the Premier League, today's match is a big one, and it's Manchester United against Burnley. Big because Burnley has been a boogie team over the years for Manchester United, and United will be looking to bounce back. And let's see, they drew against Newcastle 1-1 in their last match. It had to take the brilliance of goalkeeper David De Gea as well as Edson Cavani, who came off the bench to rescue a point for them. And Ralf Rangnick will be hoping that this time around they do not drop points, especially at Old Trafford, where United need to begin to win games. So they will be depending on the brilliance of David De Gea once again, hoping that he's in the best of forms, while you also have the likes of Cavani, Jadon Sancho, Ronaldo also getting into the mix. In recent times, Ronaldo has seemingly lost his goal-scoring boots. Hopefully, he's able to get it back. But for Burnley, you expect that the regular suspects will come in there. Chris Wood would, with his physique, will try to bully the centre-backs. And let's see if the likes of Maguire will be able to hold their own against Burnley. Remember, Burnley plays an orthodox kind of football, something you refer to as 16th century football, where they just try to loop the ball into the box and make use of their physical presence in terms of getting a result from the match. And let's see if United will be able to cope with that. But Ralf Rangnick, no injury worries per se, except Victor Lindelof is still out injured. You have Rashford as well, coming back. So it's almost like a full squad for Manchester United to be able to pick from. And let's see how they fared this time around. It was a disappointing one last time against Newcastle at St. James's Park, and they will be hoping to make to improve the performance we saw last time out. So let's see if they will be able to make this count. We'll go on a break right now. When we return, the show continues.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming true unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your true unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix true unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. True unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, begiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your true unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder Bus Stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663 8213 or 08163974447. Distributors are needed nationwide.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do na make you go for the up, open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63974447. 08035644436 07066638213. Banga fresh palm fruit extract.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes? I have a solution for you.
Really?
If you no sabi cook the banga, you no go enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga efforiro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extracts for tasty African cuisine.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's still the arena. Now it's time to talk about some business when it comes to the world of sports. I'll begin with college football, where ESPN could lose up to $400 million in advertising revenue if key college football games are cancelled. Now, talking about key college football games, we're referring to the playoffs. Remember that this is the playoff season for college football. College football's postseason brings in an estimated $350 million to $400 million each year for ESPN. However, 5 bowl games have been cancelled so far, and with that, and this is due to the Omicron variant of COVID-19, which is spreading quickly. Remember, it is not only in the Premier League that clubs are struggling to contain the Omicron variant. So it is possible that additional games, including 3 final playoff matchups, could as well be cancelled. Now, ESPN is most of the way through a 12-year deal to air the college football tournaments, which is worth $470 million per season. Now, the deal includes the 14 playoffs and 6 associated bowl games through 2025. So it's lots of money here for ESPN to lose should the games be cancelled. And the reason for that is this. The College Football Playoff Management Committee announced last week that teams would forfeit games if they do not have enough available players, and that makeup games would not be allowed. So if there are no makeup games or rescheduled games, it means that all teams will forfeit the games. Now, should all 4 teams in the college playoff semifinals be ineligible to play by January 15th, then the national championship will be declared vacant. Remember, January 15th is just about 17 days away, talking about the semifinal playoffs for the college football season. So lots of money here, $400 million. That's what ESPN is set to lose if various franchises in college football are finding it difficult to contain the Omicron variant of COVID-19 outbreak. And the world of sport right now is shaking. Several sports, from football to baseball to hockey, lots of them are struggling to contain the resurgence of COVID-19 outbreak. We just hope that these teams are able to contain it and players are safe and healthy, so that games can go on. Sports is life. Sports unites across racial or ethnic and religious lines, and it's one thing that we should keep going at this point in time, especially in terms of unifying everyone in the world. Now, still talking about the world, and we'll move on to the world of football, where we're talking about the 2022 World Cup now. Qatar's World Cup accommodations are running scarce, and that's surprising because the World Cup is roughly or barely a year away, you know, just 11 months, and now you have issues with accommodations. This is disclosed because roughly 90,000 rooms will be available to the public. Now, Qatar is expecting a $20 billion economic boost from hosting the World Cup next year. But that number definitely could change significantly as, you know, various countries looks to as the country looks to accommodate more visitors, and you would always have last-minute preparations, last-minute visits into the country just to behold the World Cup spectacle. The country's goal is to attract 1.2 million soccer fans for the event, but only one hotel, as I'm speaking, is available for the entirety of the tournament, and that's because the rest have already sold out. The tournament runs from the 21st of November to 18th of December. A majority of the rooms have already been booked in blocks by organizers who are trying to ensure that teams and those working for their events have available rooms for themselves. Now, Qatar's Supreme Committee disclosed that roughly 90,000 rooms will be available for the public via a website. In other words, it's almost like you have to bid to even get a room from the 90,000 available. And that number is a mere fraction of the 850,000 overseas visitors Qatari officials are expecting to require rooms. So it shows you the challenge with accommodation at this point in time. Now, in its most recent data, the Qatar Tourism Authority said there are 33,208 rooms in hotels in various apartments, and the number of cruise ships as well would dock in Doha, totaling 4,000 cabins, as they look to improvise and provide a campsite that would also be available in the desert. Rooms on the open market as we speak are going for more than $1,000 per night. It just shows you that right now the challenges with accommodation is is of priority, and it has to be sorted out, because if 11 months prior to the tournament rooms are going for $1,000 per night, it shows you that 6 months to a tournament, 3 months to a tournament, and even possibly a month to a tournament, you could have rooms going for as much as $2,000, $2,500 per night, which is extremely expensive. So it just shows you the challenges the Qatari authorities have to deal with when it comes to the World Cup. And it's quite understandable. It is the first World Cup taking place in the Middle East ever. And it shows you that everyone wants to go behold the spectacle that Qatar is putting up. This World Cup is going to be very, very spectacular because the prize money has also increased. Remember, the prize pool is $50 million, and it's up from $38 million, which we saw in Russia in 2018, which France, won the tournament. So it just shows you that there's so much money, but with so much money in terms of revenue, the cost as well is something we need to behold. Now, still talking sports business, Shaquille O'Neal, the NBA legend, has raised over $2 million for his charity, and this is as a result of selling NFTs. Remember, NFTs are your non-fungible tokens, and this is now the new rave in sports. Remember Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors legend, who sold 2,974 NFTs to his fans, and it was in commemoration of his record when it comes to the 3 points in the NBA game. So various athletes and basketballers are also keen into the non-fungible tokens to ensure that they're able to give back to the society. Now, Shaquille O'Neal has raised over $2 million and is set to collaborate with Child Clubs of America, where they would be able to provide various equipment for girls and boys as well, children, in terms of school books. You have bags and all other things that they will need, and that's what Shaquille O'Neal is doing, which is quite commendable, it must be said. Talking about the NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal. Now let's go on a quick break. When we return, the show will continue. Just stick around.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neo, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now let's delve into other sports. Let's start with the world of basketball, where it's not good news for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as their star guard, talking about Ricky Rubio, has been ruled out for the season, having torn his anterior cruciate ligament, and it's really devastating for the Cavs at this point in time. They're doing quite well in the Eastern Conference, and Ricky Rubio won't be able to see them through to the playoffs, as he tweaked his knee in the match last night, or rather at the wee hours of this morning, and it means that he'll be out. He's expected to be sidelined for about 9 to 10 months. There's no specific return date for when he will be back in action, but it's one of those injuries you as an athlete, you just have to empathize with the victim, because it's not something very palatable. Remember, it's the same anterior cruciate ligament that Golden State Warriors guard Klay Thompson also tore initially prior to tearing his Achilles tendons once again, which has ruled him out of basketball for over 2 years. So it just shows you the magnitude of injuries like this. It's really, really devastating when it comes to these kind of injuries. Let's move on from there quickly to the Lakers, talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, still in the world of basketball. Once again, the Lakers lost, and this time around, they lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, as Ja Morant started with 41 points to ensure that the Grizzlies were able to edge the Lakers 104 to 99 points in the affair. Now, it leaves the Lakers 17-19 to the start of the season, and while they are still in playoff contentions, they are just in danger of missing out if results continue to fluctuate like this. That's their 6th loss in their last 7 games, and something has to change. LeBron James started in the match quite all right as expected, but the support cast just couldn't come to the party when you're talking about Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, and they had to pay dearly for that. So the Lakers are 17-19, 17 wins, 19 losses to the start of the season. Let's see how that pans out for them. Let's delve into the world of combat sports. Yes, combat sports, and we'll start with the mixed martial arts known as UFC. Now, the heavyweight champion of the UFC, Francis Ngannou, who is of African descent, a Cameroonian, is at rift with the UFC management led by Dana White, and that's due to a new contract. His contract is up in less than a month, and he will be fighting his last fight on his present contract against Cyril Gane, who was his former teammate and gym partner. Now, it must be said that his current contract has a very interesting clause. It must be said it's called the champion clause, and that means that if he wins his last bout, which is against Cyril Gane on the 22nd of January, his contract automatically gets extended. But if he loses, he becomes a free agent. So Francis Ngannou has had a standoff with them, and that talks about, oh, it's about more money. He has denied it, but Dana White insists it has to do with money, while Ngannou says it has to do with the terms of the contract. Now, let's wrap up the show with boxing, still in the world of combat sports, but this time boxing. Tyson Fury won 2 awards at the Ring Magazine Awards last night, and that was for the fight of the year, his fight against Deontay Wilder, the trilogy, which he won by an 11th round knockout, and he also won the round of the year, which is definitely the 11th round of that encounter. So For Tyson Fury, good days. Let's see if he'll be able to get, you know, the unification bout he wants. Talking about with Alexander Usyk, who holds the other belts in the division. Thank you so much for joining us. This is how much we can take due to time constraints. It's been the arena, and I have to thank the production crew who made this possible. Thank you to viewers as well. Till the arena comes your way tomorrow, do stay safe and stay blessed. I'm Samson Olede.